Hello guys, my name's Sylvia and this is my very own mother-in-law story. Ever since I started dating Matt, my now husband, I knew that I would end up writing here. Why? Well, his mother Betty has been a witch to me from the very beginning. God, this woman is absolutely horrible. I don't know how I managed to tolerate her for so long. She is a big pain in the ass and doesn't even want to change herself. It all started when we met. Betty is an extremely judgmental and ignorant person who thinks she is better than everyone. In reality, she has a low-paying job and relies on her son Matt for financial help. When I met Betty, she seemed to be very unimpressed with me. That was okay since she didn't even know me yet. But it slowly became clear that her opinion wouldn't change at all. She said, "So, my son tells me that you work from home? I don't know what kind of job allows work from home anymore. I bet it doesn't pay above minimum wage." No, Betty, it does pay pretty well. I managed to earn $80,000 a year. I think it's pretty good enough. I don't need to be at the office for this work. Wow, they pay that much to lie around the house and be lazy. I didn't know that. I guess people nowadays don't have proper work ethics to go to the office. Not everyone can be hardworking like me. Her words and her tone were dripping with judgment. I realized soon enough that she thinks I'm beneath her and her son. Surprisingly, she never said that I didn't deserve her son. She simply kept putting me down while showing me that she was a rich and cultured woman. It was strange and annoying, but it got even stranger. She said, "What about your parents, Sylvia? Do they live around here? I never heard your surname in these parts before. It's very strange since I know everyone here." "They're not from around here. They live in a different country altogether. I moved here for college when I was 18. I have been here since then." "Oh my God, so now you're telling me that you are an immigrant. I didn't know that, Sylvia. I hear that life is very difficult in third world countries. I hope your parents are getting by fine. Do you help out?" "No, I don't need to. They manage on their own. I do send gifts and stuff sometimes." "Of course you do, Sylvia. Not everyone around the world gets to enjoy high-quality goods. Let me know if they need anything. I can always help out. I know how exciting it is to get nice gifts. Maybe I can send them some of my own." Guys, I was entertaining her bullshit for a while, but it was starting to get to me. Betty, just out of the blue, assumed that I came from a poor family and my parents don't have much money. I guess my simple looks and old car threw her off. We met at a carnival instead of an upscale restaurant, which might also have influenced her opinion, but it was Matt's idea to meet her. He said that she loves carnivals. Even if I didn't look rich, the stuff Betty was saying was downright low. Matt was off to bring us food, so I was stuck dealing with Betty on my own. As soon as Matt was back, Betty kept inappropriate comments and opinions to herself. When we were returning home, I did talk to Matt about these problems. I knew that I had to tell him the first day so that he knew how long it had been going on. I said, "Matt, I don't think I can be close to your mom after this. She is extremely judgmental and I don't think I can look past her behavior." "I'm so sorry she said these things to you, Sylvia. I wish I was around to defend you. Mom has always been like this. There is nothing I can do about it. Can you at least be civil with her? That will do for me." "Yes, I can do that, Matt. I tend to have thick skin, but your mom can be intense. I will try my best, though, I promise." And I did try my best, trust me, guys. I put up with Betty's behavior for a long time. I did everything to make sure not to scream at Betty for being such a snob. It was freaking irritating to hear Betty talk highly of her while assuming that I am a dumb girl from a poor country. After a while, I seriously couldn't stand her anymore. So with a little push from my friends, I decided to distance myself from her. That apparently angered Betty because she thought that I was being a bad daughter-in-law. It was a complete mess and Matt didn't know what to do, so I took matters into my own hands and started to be careful around Betty. I never indulged her or protested when she patronized me. She happily blabbered about my underprivileged upbringing and seemingly bad condition while I remained silent. Things went well for a few years until me and Matt got engaged. We started to plan our wedding and Betty made a whole show about how important it is for me to hold a grand wedding for the sake of her reputation. I rolled my eyes at that. She didn't contribute a cent to the wedding, but complained about how cheap we were being with our choices. Instead of helping out, she actually pestered Matt to buy her a new car so that he couldn't spend as much on the wedding. Yes, she wanted Matt's money all to herself. The worst happened when a cousin told me and Matt how Betty planned to humiliate me at our wedding by gifting me her used car because I couldn't even dream of ever owning something that expensive. Matt refused to believe that his mom could be so cruel, but I knew that it sounded like something Betty would do, so I made a plan. I called up my parents and said, "Mom, Dad, my mother-in-law wants to humiliate me at my wedding by gifting me a used car. She is convinced that I am a good-for-nothing woman who can never buy good things in life, and she wants my guests to know that as well." "She sounds like a nightmare, Sylvia. Why does she think that you are destitute? Did you say something of that sort?" "No, I simply told them that you guys live in a different country and I came here for studies. That made her think that we were poor and belonged to a third world country. This woman is nasty, Dad." "My God, she is something. I wonder how she ended up raising such a sweet man like Matt. I see no similarities between the two at all. What are you going to do about this situation, Sylvia? Do you want to confront your mother-in-law?" I did think about it. I wanted to confront Betty and just unload on her. She had no right to behave in such a horrible way all these years. Yes, I didn't give her full information about my background, but that was because it is none of her business. Matt knew it all, and that's enough. Betty didn't even care to ask. She simply assumed the worst and ran with it. Her false assumptions made her feel superior to me, and that was good enough for her. I wanted to confront her and shatter her big ego, but I didn't do that. I had better plans. If she decided to try and humiliate me at my wedding, we didn't deserve to be confronted in private. So I said, "Actually, no, Mom and Dad. I don't want to confront her in private. She does not think twice before trying to embarrass me in front of everyone. Why should I care about her feelings and confront her in private?" "Then what do you plan to do? We'll keep you in any way we can. You just need to tell us." "That's right. We will do our best. We don't want you to take unnecessary stress. Planning the wedding is stressful enough." "Thanks, Mom and Dad. This is why you are the best. Matt still has some hope that Betty won't pull her evil plan at our wedding, but I have my doubts. So I made a plan. If Betty really does humiliate me at the wedding, I will give you a signal to go ahead with the plan." I told my parents the plan and they were happy with it. I didn't inform Matt because it actually didn't concern him as much. Plus, he was still deep in the fog to realize what a horrible person my mother-in-law was. So I didn't tell him about the plan. I knew that Betty would not control herself and fall into my trap. If she thinks she can get away with humiliating me, she has another thing coming. On the day of my wedding, everything went perfectly as planned. The day was going great and we were all having a blast. Me and Matt were super happy and excited to hear everyone's speeches at the reception. It was then that Betty decided to make her appearance on the stage. She took the mic and went on and on about how she was happy for her son and how much she struggled to make this day happen. It was boring and had this odd me vibe. But just when I started to get bored, she declared her gift to me in front of everyone. She said, "So I have decided to give you, Sylvia, dear daughter-in-law, my old car as a wedding present. I feel so good to give you something you couldn't even dream of. To be honest, this car has been my baby for over 5 years. It's a damn good car and all. But now that my son has promised to buy me a new car, I thought you should have it and consider it your wedding present from me. I'm sure you will be thrilled to own such a nice car. I think I can say for sure that I gave you the best gift of everything that you have received from your family. It's just to show you how much I appreciate you. I hope this gift can be a reminder of how generous I am when it comes to family. Betty went on and on about how she must have changed my life by giving me a freaking used car. The way she spoke about me and my family was patronizing and downright appalling. I didn't know why she thought that I didn't come from a good household. My parents don't live in the same country as me, so Betty has never met them before the wedding. Because I don't tell people details about my family, Betty automatically assumed I belonged to a poor family from a third world country or something. I could see that the majority of the guests were getting uncomfortable with Betty's speech. As I said, she is an extremely uninformed and horrible woman. Even Matt looked really ashamed of his mother and gave me an apologetic look from time to time. I gave his hand a squeeze to tell him that I had things under control. Betty wouldn't get away with humiliating my parents. I winked at my parents, who also returned my smile to tell me that they knew what to do. It was going to be showtime. As soon as Betty was off the stage after her ridiculous speech, my parents took the stage after her. They said some great words about us that brought tears to our eyes. Next, they said something that wasn't supposed to be broadcast to everyone, but the situation warranted it. They said, "So, we have been wanting to visit this country to meet with our son-in-law and his family for a very long time. Unfortunately, due to our business, it was difficult to make any plans. We are glad this wedding gave us the opportunity to meet everyone. We really love being here and making sure that our daughter is in the right hands. This wedding will be on my mind for a very long time. After all, it's my only daughter's wedding." Now, since we're already discussing wedding gifts on stage, I guess we should reveal our little gift to you guys too. We are not sure what's the norm here, so I didn't know if it would be appropriate to declare our gift in front of everyone. Oh, it's not a problem at all. We would love to know what you're giving your daughter as a present. There is nothing to be shy about. We have gifts according to our own financial situation. I'm sure no one here would mind or judge a gift from loved ones. Betty thought she was being smart by casually hinting to everyone that my parents were ashamed to reveal their puny little gift in front of everyone. She was trying to be a patronizing little witch, and it was pissing me off. But Betty had no idea how embarrassed she was going to be after my parents revealed their gift. I already knew what they were giving me, but I told them not to talk about it at the wedding. I didn't want Betty to feel like my parents were overshadowing her gift, but after I learned and saw Betty's outrageous behavior, I told my parents to tell everyone what they were giving me, and they agreed. By my dear mother-in-law's insistence, of course. They said, "Thank you for the confirmation, Betty. I see that this is a loving and caring community. No one here really judges people at all. It's so nice to see that after such a long time." Yes, now since people here don't mind sharing details on their wedding gifts, we feel comfortable talking about it too. So me and my husband are really excited to disclose our wedding gift to this wonderful couple who got married today. For my sweet daughter and her amazing new husband, we are giving you guys a new mansion in this area. We found out that a great mansion here was up for sale, and we decided to get it for our one and only daughter. Sylvia and Matt, we really hope you like our gift. Come on, dear. We shouldn't just keep them hanging after this. Guys, we also decided to give you a check so that you can remodel the house and add your favorite furniture to it too. You know, we wanted you guys to have a good start to your married life, so it felt right to give you the whole package. I hope you like your gift. As soon as my parents said this, Matt and I expressed our sincere gratitude towards them. Our guests also cheered and applauded their generous gift since no one was expecting it. And everyone knew what mansion they were talking about. Let me just say that it costs about $500,000. And the check was for another $20,000 so that we could get the house furnished as we liked. Matt wasn't expecting that, so he was super happy. However, his mom, Betty, looked extremely embarrassed and was even looking down at her feet. It was glorious to see Betty get a proverbial slap across her face. If you think that the fun ended there, you are wrong. Betty is one of a kind. This woman had the audacity to walk up to us and express her disappointment at my parents' gift. You would think that she finally got beaten down. Well, it turns out she's just utterly shameless. She pulled us aside after the speeches and said, "That was extremely inconsiderate of your parents, Sylvia. I am embarrassed and appalled at their behavior today." "What do you mean, Betty? My parents have been nothing but kind to everyone here, including you. What is the problem?" "You are asking me what my problem is? Well, your parents should have some etiquette and not declare their gift in front of everyone. They intentionally flashed their money and made everyone feel poor." Betty's words brought out a big laugh from within me. Seriously, guys, I couldn't help but laugh at her ridiculous words. Now, she was accusing my parents of flashing their wealth. I said, "I don't know what you're talking about, Betty. You were the one who told them that they can declare their gift in front of everyone. They just did what you did before them. How did they suddenly become inappropriate?" "Well, they knew that their gift would overshadow everyone, and it even made me look embarrassed. This is not done. Your family intentionally humiliated me." "Isn't that what your plan was, Betty?" "I knew and heard what your plan was. I knew that you wanted to embarrass me and my parents by bringing up your gift and hinting that I am not rich enough to afford good things." "Are you accusing me of insulting you today, Sylvia? My God, just because I'm a poor woman who can't give you a good gift, you are intentionally humiliating me. Matt, are you hearing this? Look at how ungrateful your wife is." "What do you want me to say, Mom? Sylvia is right. You did start this shit show first. I heard what you said during your speech. You tried to humiliate my wife and her family, Mom. Don't try to turn the narrative now. You knew what you were doing, weren't you?" Immediately, Betty knew that she had messed up and got caught. Now her own son was throwing questions that she couldn't answer truthfully. She didn't have to, though. Everyone at the wedding knew how inappropriate Betty's speech was, and they now saw Betty for who she was. But Betty still decided to play the victim card. She said, "Matt, how can you say that to your own mother? It's not my fault that Sylvia lied to me and didn't tell me that her parents are rich. I bet she was waiting for this day when she would get to one-up me in front of everyone." "Don't you dare put the blame on my wife, Mom. She never said that her parents were poor. You were the one who assumed it, and we know from a cousin that you planned this speech to humiliate Sylvia today. There is no use lying or putting blame on others." "Okay, fine. I shouldn't have done that. But Matt, what Sylvia's parents did..." At this point, I saw that Matt had enough of Betty's bullshit. I was already exhausted with her, but seeing Matt get mad at his mom was awesome. But what Matt said next surprised both me and Betty. He said, "Stop it, Mom. What you have done today was extremely embarrassing. I should have seen this coming since you kept picking on Sylvia every chance you got. I feel like I failed as a partner to her. But I won't allow this anymore. You can keep your goddamn car. My wife doesn't need your charity, and I am not buying you a new car either." "What? Matt, why are you behaving like this? Why should I be punished? I know I shouldn't have made that speech, but I don't deserve so much hate. I'm your mother, Matt. You should side with me. I don't deserve to lose my new car." "That's all you care about, Mom. Money and material things. I have been an ATM to you for a long time now. You go around showing off your borrowed wealth and make people feel bad about themselves. It's time you live your life according to your financial standards." I am not helping you out anymore. In fact, I think me and my wife would like some space from you. Don't expect much communication from us from now on. We will be going no contact with you." Guys, Matt stunned the hell out of us all. This was the first time I saw him truly stand up for me. I felt proud that I married the right man. I knew that already, but man, that was awesome. He didn't need any prompting at all. Everything just came tumbling out of his mouth. It was glorious, and Betty was shocked to her core. She immediately started to cry while trying to change Matt's mind. Thankfully, we were in a secluded spot where no one could see us. She did all sorts of begging and pleading, but nothing worked. Matt scolded Betty some more before dragging me away to the party. He said, "Sorry for this drama, Sylvia. I should have done this a long time ago. I really don't want to spoil our wedding, but this had to be done." "Are you joking, Matt? That was the best thing you could do today. I never expected this. You don't have to keep your word, but I still appreciate it." "I plan to keep my word, Sylvia. Mom had been nothing but nasty to you. I never did anything substantial to make her stop. Now it's time I take a stand. We will start a new family, and I don't want Mom's negative presence in that." "I love you so much, Matt. Thanks for doing this for us. Trust me, I will remember this." I meant every word. My wedding wasn't spoiled as Betty had planned. Instead, it became one of the best days of my life. I was able to show Betty her place and get her toxic presence removed from my life. I didn't see the day getting any better, but it did, you know. Turns out people took the gift declaration a little too seriously. Our best friends finally revealed that they were funding our honeymoon. We already booked everything and they knew how much we were spending. They actually decided to give us that amount so that we could do something else with it. Betty's own mother ended up showing me the heirloom necklace that she was supposed to give me in private. Betty was getting more and more embarrassed as time passed. She kept crying in a corner, but no one went to ask her what was wrong. Her plan backfired horribly while I had a blast. Want to know what happened next? Well, true to his word, Matt went low contact with his mom. He ignored all her texts and only told her to contact us for emergencies. Betty didn't like it, of course. We also refused her car, which she couldn't give us anyway since Matt wasn't buying her a new one after all. He also stopped sending her money completely. We had an amazing honeymoon and moved into the new mansion just a month after our wedding. Betty wasn't even allowed a tour of the house or given a key. She complained, but again, no one listened to her. My parents actually ended up bettering their relationship with Matt. They already loved him, but seeing his new shiny spine, they were even more thrilled. From the money Matt and I saved by not paying his mom, we take tours to visit my parents when we can. Betty is miserable since she had to downgrade her lifestyle. She doesn't flaunt her money anymore and is desperate to have her son back. But her son is happy having only me around and has expressed his desire to stay that way, even in the future. Hello, my name's Nessa and I'm 26 years old. I just got married. It was the best thing that happened to me this year. But while I got married, my father-in-law, Jerry, decided to divorce his cruel wife, Lily. And he announced it at my wedding. While the normal reaction would be to get angry for stealing the spotlight, my husband and I were overjoyed with Jerry's decision. Let me tell you how this happened. My husband, Ryan, and I met when we were in middle school. I know. We've known each other for a very, very long time. The thing is, we only started dating in our senior year of high school. We were best friends before we started dating, and so it was such a natural transition into a relationship. Our parents never knew of each other because we somehow never bothered to have each other over at our places. We always met up at school or the parks. The first time we did introduce each other was about 4 months into dating. My parents had heard a lot about Ryan, but never actually got to meet him. So obviously they were very glad to meet him. Before meeting his parents, Ryan did tell me that his parents, especially his mom, were a handful. There's a reason I've always been hesitant about telling my parents about you. What is it? My parents aren't what you'd expect. What? Are they aliens? They might as well be, if I have to be honest. Oh, that bad. No, okay. I may be exaggerating, but my dad's amazing. He's this really happy-go-lucky guy that loves to make a good joke. My mom, on the other hand, yeah, she's kind of a handful, to put it lightly. I'm definitely excited to meet your dad, but should I be worried about your mom? Honestly, yeah. But no matter what she says or does, it won't change anything between us. You just keep being yourself and we'll be fine. Okay, I'm scared, but I'm going to trust that this won't change us. I promise it won't change us. Ryan was right to warn me. Meeting his parents was beyond awkward. His dad was nothing like he'd described. Jerry was very closed off. He was quiet and reserved. Even if I directed a question towards him, he would answer in one-word replies. Ryan's mother, Lily, on the other hand, was the stuff nightmares are made of. She was loud and obnoxious. She tried many, many times to invade my personal space and privacy. She had no filter and just said the first things that came to her mind. Ryan had to politely ask her to shut up every time, while his dad, Jerry, looked at Lily with this look of utter exhaustion. After that first meeting, Ryan was obviously embarrassed. He apologized profusely and promised me that he wouldn't mind if I never wanted to see his parents ever again. I wasn't going to do that, though. The family was family. They had their quirks, but they always had your back. I wasn't going to rob Ryan of that kind of support. The day after I visited Ryan's parents, Ryan called me to tell me that his dad wanted to meet us at our local cafe. I was surprised because honestly, I couldn't imagine the quiet man from yesterday ever wanting to speak up, but I did go there to meet him. Hey, son. Hi, Nessa. Hi, Dad. Hi, Jerry. Why the sudden secret meeting? Unless... Oh God, is Mom coming? No, I wanted to meet you guys here for that reason. I wanted to apologize to Nessa. Me? But why? Just for the way things went yesterday. I know that the way Lily behaved was completely unacceptable, and my not saying anything either wasn't good. I would have stepped up, but yesterday I was just at my limit with her. Oh, it's okay. There's nothing for you to apologize for. You did your best and you've made up for it. Son, you picked a good one. I like her. So how long have you two known each other? Since we were in 7th grade. Seriously? And how come we've never heard of this beautiful and amazing woman? You saw why last night, Dad. Touché. After that, we kind of just hung out for a while. Jerry did turn out to be a little like what Ryan had described him to be. He just looked very tired, and I really just wished the best for him. He didn't deserve somebody like Lily. Of course, I never said that to either Ryan or Jerry, but I did hope at least one of them was thinking the same as me for their own sanity. In our 2nd year, we had to move out of our dorms, so we moved in together. Let me tell you, living with Ryan was just like living with my best friend, maybe because he was my best friend first. Anyway, it was an amazing shift because we got to spend even more time together. Throughout college, Jerry would set up these secret meetings for us to hang out and catch up. At first, I was nervous, but the more I hung out with Jerry, the more comfortable I got. Like, I could poke fun at him without feeling shy at all. He was actually turning out to be a great guy. After we graduated, Ryan and I waited another 2 years to get our financial stability and settle into adulthood fully. Once we had gotten to a comfortable place, Ryan proposed to me. Obviously, I was over the moon about it. We remained engaged for a whole year because We had to juggle wedding planning, work, and budgeting. Thankfully, Jerry had our backs. He didn't tell Lily anything because none of us wanted her to try to sabotage our big day. But when we did send the invitations out, Lily was furious. We told her it was going to be a small event, so there was no need for an extra hand. I don't know how, but she calmed down and let the topic go. Then finally came the day of my wedding. The first half of the ceremony went off without a hitch. It was honestly a magical moment, walking down the aisle in front of all of our guests and then standing next to Ryan, who was crying. I shed a lot of tears of my own too. Everyone teared up when we read our vows and cheered when we were officially pronounced husband and wife. The only person who looked out of place was Lily. While she wasn't very vocal about her disapproval of the wedding, she definitely did some things to let everyone know about it. She was constantly rolling her eyes, sighing really loud, and at one point during my vows, she even snickered. But Ryan and I just overlooked her antics because we knew the day was about us. When it was time for the reception, everyone arrived looking immaculate. Ryan and I were showered with congrats and praises. We kicked off the reception with a dance and drinks. Needless to say, everyone was happy. Well, except you know who. At least this time, everyone had the choice to steer clear of her, so she mostly stood in a corner all by herself. Jerry tried to get her to join the dance floor, but she adamantly refused. Finally, it was time for toasts. All the guests were seated at their tables. Ryan was the first to get up and give a toast to us, and I followed next. I think it was safe to say that both of us were in tears. Then went our maid of honor and best man. I mean, up until it was Lily's turn, I was a mess of tears and my stomach hurt from laughing. However, as the time drew nearer for Lily to make her toast, a part of me began to panic. She had constantly tried to sabotage this wedding. It was pure genius of Ryan and I's part to hire security and get them to keep an eye on her. Well, when the time finally came for Lily to speak, Ryan and I held each other's hand and squeezed tight. I was glad that I wasn't the only one feeling nervous about this. I didn't want Lily to say something that would get her kicked out because I knew she loved Ryan and I knew that this event meant a lot to her because she had always dreamed of going to her child's wedding. So literally, for her sake, I hoped she didn't mess it up. Hello everyone, I'm so glad to be here. For the few of you who don't know, I'm Ryan's mother. It's truly a pleasure to be here attending my baby's wedding. Although if Nessa had allowed me to help her plan this wedding, I would have definitely invited a lot more people. But you know what? It's their big day, so I'll let it be. Anyway, I'm happy that my son's happy. I wish he would have found someone a little, prettier. No need for the gasps. We were all thinking it anyway, but here's to us welcoming the ugliest member into our family. No, give me the mic. I can't let Lily say something like that. That's not very nice. But Ryan and Nessa, I truly am happy for both of you. Nessa, you are a brilliant and strong woman. I mean, you've dealt with everything that Lily has thrown at you with so much grace. It's crazy. I would have not invited her, but you are such a gracious young lady that you don't deserve this kind of treatment. I'm also really happy to see my son so happy. It's been a while since I saw that, and clearly not everyone can appreciate that properly. So I don't know about welcoming the ugliest member into our family, but I do know that we're letting go of one. Here, in my hand, are divorce papers for Lily. What? You can't do that? I'm sick and tired of the way you've been treating Nessa. I don't want to have to deal with you anymore. And I think Ryan and Nessa would be more than happy to let you go too. Actually, I think everyone here would be happy to watch you leave. Am I right? The crowd erupted in cheers. Lily looked like she was going to cry. Jerry smirked as he walked over to her and threw the divorce papers on the table in front of her. Lily tried to grab his arm to yell at him, but he cleverly sidestepped her and made his way back to his seat. Ryan and I, we were gobsmacked. I literally can't think of any other word to describe what we felt at the moment. For me, I was initially really hurt when Lily said what she said. I was already signaling to security to get her out, but to see Jerry stand up for me and slap her with a divorce, I was stunned. Ryan was in the same boat. He went from angry to shocked. Although at that moment I was sure he was also secretly happy. Lily began screaming about how I had brainwashed everyone in the room. She began yelling that she was warning everyone and that they would live to regret their mistakes. She, and kid you not, climbed onto the table to make her points. Obviously, we weren't going to let that fly, so Ryan called for security to escort her out. But obviously, Lily wouldn't just leave without a fight. She began kicking and thrashing about to make it even harder. The security guards had literally to drag her out of the hole. I was honestly scared of her in that moment. Never in my life had I ever met anyone that insane. Everyone just watched in amusement and fear as Lily's screaming only got louder as she got further away from us. I even saw a bunch of people filming her. I was embarrassed for her, but at the same time, I was glad she finally got what she deserved. The rest of the wedding went off really well. Ryan and I didn't even realize just how tense we were because of his mother until she left. I mean, suddenly we felt lighter and we were able to enjoy our own wedding. At some point, I did approach Jerry to ask him if he was doing all right, and he gave me the most enthusiastic yes. I was glad he finally looked happy. By the time the wedding was done and Jerry and I had reached back home, we were way too exhausted to really discuss any of the things that transpired at our wedding. We invited Jerry to spend the night over at our place because we were sure he didn't want to go back home to Lily. The next morning, the three of us talked over coffee. Good morning, Jerry. Did you sleep well? Ah, here come the newlyweds. Yes, I did sleep well. Did you guys? Yep, we slept so well that we don't even remember falling asleep. Ha, that's good. But I do have something to ask you guys. Yes? Well, I was kind of awake for a while last night because I was thinking about a lot of things, and I don't know if I overstepped and caused a scene on your big day. So I'm sorry for, Oh no, it's all okay. In fact, I was really happy that you stood up for me. Yeah, and we don't mind a scene, especially when it's to remove the most toxic person in our lives. Okay, I'm glad that you didn't have a problem with it. I was just tired, I've been covering for her for so long. I've been dealing with her nonsense for even longer. Why did you even stay with her, Dad? If I'm being really honest, I was going to leave your mom, but then she got pregnant. I didn't leave because I didn't want you growing up without a father. Plus, I always wanted a kid. I tried my best to give you a childhood that didn't include any of your mother's stupid antics and ideologies, and then I figured that if I could stick it out for so long, I could continue. I mean, I was used to her, and change was terrifying. But then you guys got together and your mother's behavior got uglier, and I didn't think it was even possible. That's why I'm sorry I had to take a step on your wedding. You have nothing to apologize for. You did your best all throughout my life. You sacrificed so much for me. The least I could do was allow you to shed off your biggest burden on a day when I get to start a family of my own. I don't know when, but at some point during the conversation, I started tearing up. I mean, Jerry is just the nicest guy. I can't believe everything he'd put up with Lily for so long. Once you get used to the toxicity, normalcy seems scary, but I was actually, from the bottom of my heart, really happy for Jerry. Jerry and Ryan shared an emotional hug before the three of us decided to get dressed up and head out for breakfast. We enjoyed breakfast with Jerry. I was finally able to see the happy-go-lucky man that Jerry had always described to me. It was actually crazy to see how much Lily had robbed him of. We returned back home with smiles and laughter. But that was pretty short-lived. We saw Lily sitting at our doorstep looking furious. I could sense how all three of our moods just dropped. We were glad she was going to be out of our lives, but at the same time, none of us really wanted to deal with her this soon. I guess it was better to get things done sooner rather than later. We parked our car and made our way over to her. We let her in and sat down to talk. Before any three of us could say a word, Lily glared and pointed her finger at me. You are the reason my precious family is falling apart. Lily, I didn't even save it. You've been nothing but a thorn in my side. It wasn't enough to steal one man in my life. You had to take both of them. Mom, do you even know how insane you sound? Look at what you've made him into. I've had enough of this. If you came here to yell and blame Nessa, clearly yesterday taught you nothing. I didn't only come here for Nessa. I came to talk to you as well. I mean, what did you even think you were going to achieve by pulling a stunt like that? A stunt? Yeah, you call me ugly and threw fake divorce papers. Get back home and I will have a word with you. Lily, that was no stunt. That was all real. I am asking to divorce you. I'm sick and tired of you, and I meant every word I said yesterday. You're divorcing me because I'm ugly? You spent years pining over me? You know I'm not ugly. Besides, if Ryan can stay with Nessa, you can definitely overlook my appearance. Do you really not hear how obscene you sound? You may not be ugly on the outside, but you definitely have the ugliest personality. You are mean, entitled, and just embarrassing to be around. I'm glad I pined after you because I got Ryan, but I do regret staying with you even after Ryan moved out. You can't be serious right now. Please don't leave me. I tried my hardest to deal with everything. I was ready to deal with you for the rest of my life. But seeing how happy and in love Ryan and Nessa were made me realize that I was sacrificing my happiness for literally nothing. Your little speech against Nessa only cemented it for me. I wanted to wait until we got back home, but I just couldn't. Mom, none of us want you here. Could you please leave? I will make your life hell, Nessa. Believe me. This is all your fault, and I will make you pay for it. That's enough now. I'll come pick up some of my stuff tomorrow, but after that I expect you to contact me only through my lawyer. Goodbye. I was really relieved that Lily left without causing much of a scene. I was upset that she really had the nerve to come over to our place only to yell at me, especially when I really did nothing. But Jerry, Ryan and I decided we needed to unwind, so we didn't really talk about it. Instead, we settled down to watch a TV series and just enjoyed laughing and spending time with each other. That night, Jerry did ask us if we had overstepped by assuming that we'd let him stay with us until his divorce was finalized, but we assured him that he had never overstepped and that we were going to be by his side until the end of it all. I mean, it was always just one thing after another with Jerry. I really was grateful that I was lucky enough to have such a good man in my life. The next few weeks were filled with trips to the courthouse. Lily tried her best to get a lot of Jerry's assets, but Jerry and her had signed a prenup, so it really was stupid of her to try and get some of it. It just ended up costing her much more than she would have gotten. Lily kept coming over to our place to harass us. After the divorce was finalized, we had to get the police involved, and eventually, with their advice, we got a restraining order against Lily. It was sad to see what Lily had been reduced to, but karma always comes to bite you back. Right now, Jerry's moving back into his house. Lily has moved out and taken her things with her to God knows where. Ryan and I are helping Jerry move out and settle into his home again. Ryan is taking his parents' divorce much easier than one would have expected. His mother's treatment of me only solidified his distaste for her, and his dad standing up for me made him love his dad even more. At the end of the day, all of us are happier now. This entire experience only showed me just how much influence a person can exert on your mental state. So make sure to always surround yourself with the people who care for you and lift you up. Hey everyone, I'm Imogen and I'm 29 years old. So a while back I went through a divorce from my abusive husband Trevor. I was stuck in a really toxic marriage, and sometimes you need a nudge from someone to break free from such situations. Surprisingly, that nudge came from none other than my mother-in-law, Kiki. Trevor and I had an unexpected start at the Cheesecake Factory. It was funny because we shared the same birthday and we both happened to be celebrating there. Trevor had this charming look with long, slicked back hair and an adorable face. My friends pushed me to go talk to him and get his number, so I did. That's how we started chatting. Trevor, well, he was a man of few words. Quite the mystery, you know. He had this way of keeping his emotions close to his chest, not opening up much. But strangely, there was this unspoken understanding between us, a sort of unspoken connection that felt comfortable. After a year of dating, we decided to tie the knot. We bought a house, we were both working, and things seemed pretty stable. About a year into our marriage, we felt it was the right time to start a family. When I found out I was pregnant, I was over the moon with joy. I shared the news with Trevor and he was ecstatic. We even had a gender reveal party. It was a baby boy. Trevor had always dreamt of having a son and he couldn't have been happier. He started preparing the baby's nursery, building the crib and talking about all the wonderful father-son moments he envisioned. But then our world shattered when I experienced a miscarriage. I called 911 while Trevor was away. When he reached the hospital, the doctors gave us the devastating news that we had lost our baby boy. It hit us both hard, especially Trevor. We supported each other through the tough times, and a year later we decided to try again. I became pregnant once more, and it was another baby boy. 5 months into the pregnancy, history repeated itself with another miscarriage. Trevor, who had built up so much hope, was heartbroken for the second time. I battled depression, unable to get out of bed, but Trevor didn't seem to notice. He was lost in his own grief, and it created a distance between us. He started sleeping in the guest room, and our communication had gone down the drains. I figured he needed space and time to heal, so I gave him that. However, a month after my second miscarriage, Trevor lost his job. I still remember the day he came home after that. I heard the sound of breaking glass and immediately rushed into Trevor's room, only to find a shattered plant pot. "What happened? Are you okay, Trevor?" "Okay, Imogen. I just got fired." "I'm so sorry, baby, but sometimes life is not fair, honey. You'll find another job. You've got a strong skill set." "Baby? You were calling me baby and offering support as if everything is just fine between us?" "Trevor, we're going through a rough patch, that's all. It will pass." "No, Imogen, it won't. Since the day I married you, it has been like everything in my life has gone wrong." "What do you mean?" "I don't know if you want to hear this, but it feels like this marriage is cursed. 2 miscarriages, losing my job of 4 years. It's like the universe doesn't want us to build a family or move forward. I'm just so tired." "Trevor, that is not true. We love each other, and we entered this marriage together. Every marriage has its ups and downs. Don't worry, I have my job, and I'll take care of everything until you find a new one. Just leave me alone, okay? Get out of my room." It was the most we had talked about in the last few months. Hearing Trevor call our marriage cursed felt like a stab in the heart, but I understood he was overwhelmed. Maybe it was my love for him that made me empathetic. Losing 2 babies and his job had hit him hard. It was like a never-ending string of bad luck. I decided to give him some space. The next day, I headed to work without asking Trevor about his plans for the day or if he was going to stay home. When I returned, Trevor was on the couch, an almost empty six-pack of beer beside him. I tried to talk to him, asking how he was feeling, but all I got was silence. I pressed him to answer, and he said, "I'm okay. I'm going to go to sleep now." That's all I got from him. It had been almost a week since Trevor lost his job. Each day when I left for work, he was planted on the couch, glued to the TV, and when I returned, the scene remained unchanged except for the growing pile of empty alcohol bottles. I couldn't help but worry about him. One evening, unable to ignore my concern any longer, I finally talked to him. "Hi there, how you feeling? Did you manage to have lunch?" "Yeah, I ordered some Chinese takeout." "Good choice. Actually, I wanted to discuss something with you. I understand it's been tough and you're going through a lot. However, I'm concerned about the amount you're drinking, Trevor." "I'll decide what I have to do. Just because you're the one bringing in the money doesn't mean you can dictate everything in this house." "Honey, that's not what I meant. I've been thinking, given everything we've been through, perhaps we could consider therapy, either as a couple or individually. Whatever you're comfortable with. I've been struggling too." "Can you stop making yourself out to be the only victim here? I lost those babies too, you know. I need some air. I'm heading out." I found myself trapped in a cycle of difficult conversations with Trevor. No matter how hard I tried to be empathetic and understanding, he continued to shut me out, invalidating my feelings. It was a struggle and I didn't know what to do. Trevor wasn't ready to accept the help I wanted to provide. Instead, he often said hurtful things, making me feel like it was my fault for our problems. It was all too much to bear and I felt lost. But then, one day, my phone rang, and it was my mother-in-law's name, Kiki. "Hi, Imogen." "Hey, Mom. It has been a while. How are you?" "Yes, dear, it has been long. I called you regarding my son, by the way." "Oh, yeah. He must have told you about the job." "Yes, he did. He also told me how you were stopping him from spending money on himself." "What?" "Well, Trevor tells me everything. Imogen, can you please stop creating a toxic environment for him at home? He has already been through a lot." "Toxic? You must be kidding me." "Well, Trevor told me how you don't talk to him, asked him to sleep in another room, and you've been making your own rules since he lost the job, bullying him for it and not talking to him. You are an adult, Imogen. Behave like one. You are his wife. Be supportive." "He told you all these lies, Kiki? Really? You have got it all so wrong. Trevor is at home drinking all day. He is the one who decided to move out of our bedroom, and I even offered to take him to therapy, but he just doesn't want to." "Imogen, don't call Trevor an alcoholic. He barely drinks." "I know. That's why I was so concerned about him. I don't know what happened to him." "Imogen, you are not taking care of my son. Do I have to lecture you on marriage now? I wish he would just leave you. Poor kid." "I can't believe you're saying this. Why don't you trust me? Trevor's never been like that. I wish I was there to take care of him. You know what? Why don't you come over for a week? Check up on your son yourself and see how he's doing. Maybe that's not a bad idea. Trevor will be glad to see some positivity in the house." "Sure, whatever you say." I was furious with Trevor for lying to his mom about me when he was the one keeping his issues to himself. At this point, anger was my predominant emotion. Kiki came over to our place, and just as I anticipated, Trevor wasn't thrilled about it. On the morning of Kiki's arrival, Trevor left the house and spent the day with his friends. While he was away, Kiki took over the kitchen and started preparing his favorite meal for him. "I doubt you've been feeding my son well." "Well, I made him breakfast and dinner. I don't get what's wrong with him. Why did he leave just as I came? My son, I'm just so sickened by the thought that he can't spend a minute in this house because of you. Kiki, are we really doing this again? These are facts, Imogen. I don't know what you're doing wrong. Are you not giving him enough attention? Is this about the baby? I just think this whole marriage was a blunder. You don't have the right to pass judgment on my marriage. You're here for a week as Trevor's mother. But this is our life. Oh, honey, don't worry. I guess I'll have you out of the house by the end of this week. My son needs someone to open his eyes. Kiki was super sure her son was right. I decided not to argue anymore. I thought she'd figure it out eventually, so that night, Trevor did not come home for dinner and Kiki called him a bunch of times, but he finally picked up and yelled that he would be late. When Trevor got back home, Kiki tried to cheer him up by telling him she had cooked his beloved crab cakes. Trevor was not in the mood for food, though. Kiki, being the persistent type, pushed him a bit. He stormed into the kitchen and dumped the crab cakes she had made into the trash. Then he spotted a fresh batch of brownies on the counter and tossed them out as well. I knew Trevor wasn't in the best frame of mind, but I couldn't help but speak. If you didn't want to eat, you could have been polite. I don't care about stupid crab cakes and brownies, okay? She was preparing those for you all evening from scratch. Also, food in the trash? Are you serious? If you care so much about the brownies, why don't you pick them up from the trash and eat them? The next day, I left for work, wanting to steer clear of their mother-son drama. When I got back, it was clear there had been some tension between them, but I didn't bother asking. When I was home and not at work, Trevor acted like a rebellious teenager, disrespecting both me and his mom. He would say hurtful things about Kiki's character and his dad leaving, and I felt bad for Kiki, even though she thought I was the problem. One morning when I woke up, Trevor and Kiki were fighting. I went into the living room. Trevor, why don't you come with me to the yoga session I have booked for us? It would be good for both of us. Yoga? Seriously, Mom? You think I have time for that crap? It's just an hour, Trevor. It can help relieve some stress. It can also help you with your anger, son. Anger? You want to talk about anger, Mom? Let's talk about how you ruined my childhood with your loose character. The reason my dad left you was I was angry about it. But did you do something about it too? Trevor, please don't bring up your father. This is about us. When are you leaving again? Trevor, who are you? Why are you being so rude to me? Well, this is me now. I have to go help my friend fix something. I'll see you later. Trevor left and slammed the door in our faces. Look what you have done to my son. This is what happens when you keep someone in a cage. Can't you see what's really going on? I've had enough of both of you. First, Trevor won't talk to me for some inexplicable reason, and now you're laying all the blame on me, assuming you've got everything figured out. I'm off to work. When I got back from work, things were a total mess. Kiki had her bags packed, and both Trevor and Kiki were there. I was seriously confused about what was going on. Wait, Kiki, I thought you were planning to leave at the end of the week. What's happening? I don't know. I went for a walk, and when I came back, I found all this. Mom, you were leaving. I got you a flight ticket back home, and I paid for it with my card. I also took some cash from your purse. It's your ticket, not mine. But why, son? I'm your mother. Why are you pushing me away? You're trying to control my life, Mom, telling me not to drink, to get my act together. I am a grown-up now. What's wrong with you? I only want what's best for you. Just like when you dated Steve after Dad left and he used to beat me up and you ignored all of it. Trevor, enough! Why can't you let it go? Is that girl putting all these things in your head? To be rebellious? I saw her outside with you the other day. What girl? Shut up, Mom. Why do you have to open that stupid mouth of yours all the time? Trevor grabbed an empty beer bottle within reach and tried to aim it at Kiki. She managed to dodge it, but she hurt her hand and her finger was bleeding a bit. I couldn't stay silent any longer seeing another woman in distress like that. Trevor, that's enough. She's your mom. Get out and don't come back until I tell you to. Stay wherever you want to, but don't come here. I was really baffled by what had just gone down. It was all still sinking in. And there was Kiki shedding tears. I grabbed a glass of water for her and wiped her wound clean. Then I got her seated. My mind was buzzing with questions that needed answers. Trevor never mentioned anything about his mom's boyfriend, Steve, or her past relationships. It was like he kept a lot hidden from me. I knew Kiki had been through a divorce, but she never talked about any of her boyfriends. And this mystery girl she mentioned. I had this gut feeling that the answers I was about to get wouldn't be easy to swallow. Please forgive me, Imogen. I'm sorry I treated you this way, especially knowing what's been going on. Well, Kiki, I need the truth now. What's happening? To begin with, Trevor has been cheating on you. What? With who? How long has this been going on? I don't know all the details, but the other day, when he wasn't home and you were at work, that girl dropped by. I had a conversation with her. She didn't even seem to know Trevor was a married man. Wow. Now it makes sense where he was all those nights. I trusted him and he did this to me. Trevor's dad cheated on me too. I'd blame myself for the way Trevor is now. I had some abusive boyfriends and I neglected Trevor when he needed me. What's done is done. You did neglect Trevor. But that's no excuse for what he's doing now. You've seen the way he behaves lately, and what he did today was way out of line. I'm not making excuses for Trevor. I can't even recognize him anymore. He needs help. He's becoming the person he once feared. He has become a monster. From one woman to another, Imogen, I'm begging you to leave him. He's abused you and cheated on you, and now he's out there ruining his own life. You have a future ahead of you. I'm so sorry for my son. You should talk with him. You can stay here for another 2 days until you have your actual flight. I guess Trevor has a place he can comfortably stay. So Kiki stayed with me for another day, and we didn't hear from Trevor. No calls, no texts, no apologies. To be honest, I knew the end of this relationship was coming somehow. The way Trevor had been acting and everything, I should have seen the signs. I was beating myself up and blaming myself for Trevor's behavior. I thought the reason for my not being able to give him children led to all this. When Kiki left, I thought about things for a couple of days before reaching out to Trevor. I knew my life would significantly change. I was my own sense of strength. I talked to my parents and I was close with them, but this would have absolutely broken their hearts. I did plan on telling them later, but at that time I decided to confront Trevor first. I called him and asked him to come over, and he did. Kiki told me everything, Trevor. You've been cheating on me despite all we've been through. Instead of being there for each other, you pushed me away and mistreated me. Imogen, I'm not scared of you. Your attitude, that's exactly what I mean. And with the incident with your mom, you need some help, Trevor. Whatever. You've changed so much. You used to be quiet, but this anger, where's it coming from? I wanted to start a family and you couldn't give me that. I lost my job. It's like you're bringing bad luck and then you blame me for being angry? Honestly, I don't want to be with you anymore, Trevor. You're not the person I fell for. So, you're leaving me? That's right. Who's going to handle groceries and other essentials? I don't have a job. I can't even pay for gas. I can't take care of stuff right now. You're such a man-child. Seriously? You expect me to do all that while you're out there cheating on me and treating me like dirt? Come on, Imogen, I'll end it with her if that's what you want. Seriously? Do you think I'm that naive? Am I your money machine or what? It's over, Trevor. After parting ways with Trevor, I found myself on a new and unexpected path. Divorces are never easy. Kiki gave me a call after the divorce. She informed me that Trevor had been crashing at her place and that his girlfriend had broken up with him. Life has this funny way of turning the tables sometimes. I remembered how Kiki had once vowed to open her son's eyes, but it turned out that her own eyes were the ones that truly opened. I decided to set up my own place, and let me tell you, it feels like a fresh start. The Trevor chapter had its share of complications and it left its mark. So I decided to seek help and started therapy to work through the issues and become a better version of myself. In one of my therapy sessions with Alicia, she brought up something. She casually suggested the idea of me becoming a single parent through adoption. Her words stayed with me even after our session was over. Just last week, I did something pretty brave. I went to an adoption center, filled out some forms, and started training to become an adoptive parent. I'm really excited about this new chapter in my life. It's giving me hope and making me look forward to what's coming. Life hasn't always been easy, but it's made me stronger and more determined. Going down the adoption path feels like a chance to do something really good for a kid and experience the joys of being a parent, all in my own way. Hello there, people. My name is Winter, and we have my husband Kyle helping me write our story for you. Like many of you, the universe gave me a bad mother-in-law when I got engaged to Kyle. These events happened before our marriage, but I will refer to Kyle's mom, Holly, as my mother-in-law for convenience. Kyle's dad, Archie, is also in the story, but trust me, he is a very good guy. So, when I first got with Kyle, Holly disapproved of our relationship. She's actually a very greedy woman and doesn't like that her future daughter-in-law has a simple lifestyle. She was downright rude to me and even tried to sabotage our relationship a lot of times. Thankfully, Kyle knew her personality and didn't let her meddle in our relationship. Things changed when she discovered that I belonged to an influential family. My dad is a rich businessman, so we have lots of money, but we are not people who like to flash their wealth and have a luxurious life. When Holly found out the truth about me, she suddenly became friendly, but I always maintain my distance. I do have a repulsion for people who cozy up to rich people to get stuff from them. Holly turned out to be one of them. When Kyle and I got engaged, his parents were over the moon. His mom especially was very happy with our engagement. She said, "Wow, Kyle, I must say I am really impressed with you. You managed to get such a wealthy girl like Winter." Seriously, Mom? That's what you have to say? Her wealth is the only thing that caught your eye? Oh no, I'm sure Winter is a nice girl too, but her wealth really makes her an exception. I'm so happy you two got engaged. Actually, I was thinking about hosting a party to announce your engagement. I want to tell the world that my son is engaged. What do you think, Archie? Yeah, I would like to organize a party too. You can count it as a small engagement party on our end. You don't have to spend money on this. We will arrange everything. It will be a great way to introduce Winter to everyone before the wedding. I think that's a great idea. It would be difficult to talk to everyone on the day of the wedding. Through this party, I'll be able to know a lot of people better. It sounds exciting. I agree with Winter. It does sound exciting. Count us in. I'll be happy to introduce my fiancé to everyone. To be honest, I had doubts about Holly's idea. I know Archie meant well, but Holly looked a little too excited for the party. Also, there was another problem looming on my head. My dad had found out something about Holly and I didn't know what to do with that information. It wasn't a small thing that I could ignore. Yet, I didn't know if I should do anything about what I knew about Holly. My dilemma was eating me alive for days. With the date of the party getting near, I was really in a rut about what to do. That was until my dear mother-in-law texted me one day. What she demanded from me really pissed me off. She said, Just so you know, you need to bring a nice gift to this party. It will be a great way to step into our family. You need to show your status to everyone by bringing an expensive gift and giving it to me. What? But why, Holly? I thought it was just a party to announce our engagement and upcoming marriage. I didn't know that I was supposed to bring a gift. Kyle didn't even tell me about this. Kyle is stupid and doesn't know the etiquette. We are throwing you a big party, Holly. Since you come from a rich family, the least you can do is bring an expensive gift. Mind you, it better be the most expensive thing I have ever laid my eyes on. I will know if you try to be cheap. I won't accept a measly gift from someone who's marrying my son. I still don't understand what connection an expensive gift has to me marrying your son. Why should I give you a gift to marry your son? Shouldn't you be the one giving me and Kyle a wedding present? Stop trying to be a smartass, Winter. You think you're so clever? Well, you are a freaking bimbo. I am only allowing my son to marry you because you are rich. So if you want to make sure your marriage works out, you better keep me happy. So, you're saying that if I don't give you an expensive gift, you will try and ruin my marriage? You can bet on it, Winter. And I don't want an expensive gift. I want the most expensive gift that you can buy. You better keep that in mind when you go shopping. Don't give me a reason to ruin your and my son's happiness. In no universe could I ever have imagined this happening. My soon-to-be mother-in-law was threatening to ruin my marriage if I didn't give her an expensive gift. She did it with so much confidence that would put anyone to shame. I mean, she talked as if it was her birthright. She acted like Kyle was marrying me only because she allowed it to happen. The most shocking part of this ordeal was the fact that Kyle had no idea about Holly's demands. That was pretty clear to me when she talked to me. If Holly thought that I could get scared of her and do as she pleases, she was dead wrong. But I wasn't going to tell her that. I said, "Okay then, Holly. If a good gift is so important to you, I will bring one for you, and I will make sure it will be the most expensive gift you will ever get." There, it wasn't that hard now, was it? Keep up this good behavior and I can guarantee you that your marriage will last. To stay in this family, you need to keep me happy, not Kyle. He usually does what I say, so mind it. I will keep that in mind, Holly. Thanks for letting me know about this gift business beforehand. It will give me plenty of time to arrange for the best. Well, you better start working on it fast. I'll give you some hints. I usually prefer Cartier over Tiffany, but as long as it's one of a kind, I will be happy. People need to know how well my son is marrying. God, they would be so jealous. Anyway, see you at the party, Winter. Bye. With that, Holly was off to dream about the most expensive gift that I was going to give her. I knew that her call was the end of my dilemma. I would not stay quiet about what I know. It was a perfect opportunity for me to one-up Holly in the best way possible. But first, I needed Kyle on my side. Kyle was well aware of the fact that his mom is a greedy piece of shit, so I doubted that he would mind my plans. Still, I needed to tell him everything and get his confirmation. That night, when Kyle came back from work, I nabbed him right away. He was a little confused as to what was so urgent. But he didn't protest much. I sat him down and showed him all the texts I exchanged with Holly. He read through the text and was absolutely furious with Holly. He said, "That's it. This woman has really crossed all limits today. God, I'm so embarrassed, Winter. I'm so sorry my mom talked to you this way. I swear I will have proposed to you even if she didn't approve." Don't worry, Kyle. Your little warning about Holly had me prepared for this. Plus, I know you really love me and won't drop me just because your mom tells you to. You are in the clear. Mom has truly turned into a very greedy woman, Winter. I mean, I know she can be demanding, but hell, this is a very different level of entitlement. I think we should talk to Dad about this. He wouldn't tolerate her disrespecting you. Actually, I don't think that would be enough for me. I have something else to tell you, Kyle. I was kind of on the fence about what to do with this information, but I guess Holly solved the dilemma for me. It's actually about Holly, and I think you should know this too. I went ahead and told Kyle everything I knew about Holly. He listened to me and looked absolutely horrified. He had no idea what the true face of Holly was. He was furious and immediately agreed to take part in the plan I had. I guess this is where I should reveal to you guys what was up with Holly. You see, she was actually cheating on Archie. Her affair partner was a rich man, and my father knew him very well. Turns out, Holly had been sleeping with this man for the past year to get expensive gifts and vacations from him. Archie had no idea about all this. He was told that the trips Holly took were actually to see her sick sister. Nope, she was touring the world with this guy. I told Kyle everything, and we started to collect evidence to expose her. Since we both have good incomes, we were able to hire a personal investigator to follow Holly and collect the proof of her affair. The man was super skilled and managed to give us some great pictures along with details. The good days of Holly were now numbered. Me and Kyle were prepared to see to that. We didn't reveal anything until it was time for the party. Holly did a good job trying to set up a posh party, but she forgot that she had no real experience in organizing big parties. Anyway, when Kyle and I arrived, his parents were happy to see us, for different reasons, of course, while Archie was excited to celebrate our engagement. Holly was curious to see what I was carrying with me. She said very loudly, "Oh my God, here come the two very special people in my life. The life of the party is here, guys. As you all know, my son Kyle is marrying this wonderful woman, Winter. I'm so happy to announce their engagement here today. Welcome to the family, Winter. I hear that you have something to present to us as a welcome gesture." "That is right. I have a nice gift for both you and Archie. Why don't you two open the gift together? Or would you like to go first?" "Oh, I would love to be the first one. Archie is not that into gifts and stuff. You know, Winter, you really didn't have to bring us anything." "It's a special day, Holly. I had to make it memorable, so I got the perfect gift for you and for Archie as well. Go ahead and open it." I handed Holly the gift and encouraged her to open it. She looked very excited and expected jewelry like she had suggested. I had the clever idea of using a nice velvet box to put the special gift in. I do have a flair for drama, so sue me. So Holly opens the box and immediately goes pale. She looks at me with huge eyes and then back at the box. Everyone around us is excited to know what she has received from me. I'm pretty sure that she had told some of her friends how she was getting an expensive gift from her rich daughter-in-law. But now, Holly was clutching the box and refusing to show it to anyone. I said, "What's the matter, Holly? Didn't you like my gift? I know you told me to bring something from Cartier, but you also mentioned that it should be the most expensive gift you have ever laid your eyes on. I got you exactly that." What are you talking about, Winter? Holly told you to give her a gift?" "Yes, she texted me and told me that I needed to bring her a nice gift. She also said that it needed to be the most expensive gift ever. If I didn't listen to her demands, she said that she would ruin my marriage." "Holly, you said that to Winter? Why the hell would you do that? And, Winter, you should have come to me about this. You didn't need to bring her a present." "Actually, I bought this for you, Archie. I think you should see it. And I would be glad if you would show everyone what I got her." Archie looked at Holly with suspicious eyes and told her to hand over whatever I gave her. Holly looked at him with frightened eyes and refused to hand over the box to him. Archie was getting pissed off at her. He then snatched the box from her and saw what was inside. Inside the box were multiple pictures of Holly kissing and making out with her affair partner. Also, I included some other proof of their romantic trips that our PI sent us. Archie looked at it and screamed at Holly. He said, "What the hell is this, Holly? Are you freaking cheating on me? Answer me, Holly. Don't try to pull away from me. It won't work. Tell me what the hell these pictures mean." "Archie, it's not what it looks like." "Then what is it like, Holly? These pictures are as clear as day. How do you freaking explain this, Holly?" "What would she say, Dad?" "I don't think she has the face to accept her own sins in front of everyone. We hired a private investigator and found the truth. Winter's father had warned her about seeing Mom with one of his colleagues." "Sorry, Archie. I didn't want you to find out like this, but I think you and everyone needed to see what kind of a person Holly is. She is playing you, Archie. She is sleeping with someone else and taking money and gifts from him. We have all the proof. Remember how Mom used to visit her sick sister for days? Yeah, Aunt Felix is fine, Dad. She was out on vacation with her affair partner all those times." Archie saw all the proof and looked absolutely furious. The people around us also understood the whole ordeal and started to give Holly disgusted looks. Everyone already knew that Holly was a greedy woman, but today they saw how far she can go to have a good life. Even Archie couldn't oversee that point. He said, "How dare you betray me like this, Holly? 30 years of marriage and you destroyed it for what? Some material things? How greedy can you be, Holly? You even threatened to ruin your son's life if she didn't shower you with expensive stuff? What is freaking wrong with you, woman?" "Archie, I'm so sorry. It was a small mistake. Please don't react this way. Trust me, Archie. It was a long time ago. I swear I stopped it very recently." "Is that so, Holly? Then why do these pictures have recent timestamps? As far as I know, you took a trip to your sister just last month. We asked your sister and she said that you didn't come to visit her. In fact, she said that she wasn't even sick." "Yeah, Aunt Felix is pretty pissed at you, Mom. You better watch out for angry calls on your way. She'll be on your back anytime soon." Holly knew that she had been caught red-handed. She started to cry and tried to get Archie's attention. She knew that she had to try and save her marriage with Archie. She said, "Look, Archie, I accept that I made a big mistake, but it meant nothing to me. Please don't do something drastic because of this. I really love you and I will stop all contact with him, I swear." "Don't swear for nothing, Holly. I won't believe your lies anymore. I have been having lingering doubts that you are up to no good. Still, I didn't even think for once that you would cheat on me. Look where your greed has brought you, Holly. Do you think I will stay with you after this?" Archie, please don't make rash decisions. We were married for 30 years. You can't throw it away for nothing. Think about this, Archie." "You think that cheating on me is nothing, Holly? Yes, we were married for 30 years, but you were the one who broke our vows. You have no right to tell me what I should do. I'll be divorcing you, Holly. You wanted an expensive gift for Winter, right? She did give you the most expensive gift. Good luck, Holly. You will need to pay your lawyer's fees now." Archie said that and went inside the house. We decided to give him space and didn't want to disturb him. Everyone at the party berated Holly and left as well. Who would want to stay after what went down? When it was our time to leave, Holly tried to pin this all on me. She said, "Winter, you witch! How dare you destroy my marriage? You had no right, Winter. You had no right to do this." "Just like you had no right to threaten my marriage, Holly. Why are you so upset? I gave you what you wanted, an expensive gift that cost you your entire marriage. I just did what my dear mother-in-law wanted." "You are a horrible, horrible woman, Winter. This is all your fault. I won't spare you if Archie divorces you. You just wait. Stop threatening my fiancé, Mom. This is enough. You have absolutely no shame. After nuking your marriage with your own actions, how dare you try to extract gifts from Winter by threatening our marriage? Winter did the right thing, and Dad is doing the right thing too. As for me, let me just tell you this, Mom. I don't want to stay in contact with you anymore. I'm done with you. You are uninvited from the wedding as well. Don't bother showing up or you will be kicked out. Holly then tried to get Kyle to change his mind. She was a crying mess and confused about what she could do to rectify the whole situation. She was kind of starting to have a breakdown in front of us. Kyle and I simply walked away. We wanted no part of this anymore. The next day, Holly showed up at our door. Apparently, Archie had kicked her out and talked to a lawyer about filing for divorce. Since they had a post-nup in place, there was no way she would get anything out of him. We also live in an at-fault state, so my mother-in-law couldn't do anything to get money or assets out of Archie. She has never worked a day in her life and didn't have much funds to hire a lawyer and fund her daily life. Her affair partner left as soon as she told him about getting caught. He knew that this woman would become a leech on him and he didn't want to marry her anyway. So Holly was stuck with little money and no marriage. I truly did give her the best gift ever. Archie went ahead with the divorce and didn't listen to Holly. We turned her away that day itself and blocked her on all platforms. We even hired security so that she could not show up to our wedding. Our wedding happened without a glitch on our end. Security did their work and threw Holly out when she tried to enter the venue. She was screaming about how we couldn't do this to her. Thankfully, we didn't hear a single word of it. We were busy enjoying our wedding and were given second-hand accounts from other people. As far as I know now, Holly has flown to her sister Felix in a different state. Her sister refused to house her for more than a month. She's now working as a Walmart employee locally and living in a trailer. Me and Kyle are enjoying marital bliss and supporting his father, who's recovering from the effects of Holly's cheating. It looks like Holly will be staying far away from us from now on. Hello guys, my name's Jean and my husband is Zach. I'm using fake names for this story because I don't want to get identified. Let's just say that I like my privacy a bit. Anyway, this story is about my entitled and downright crazy sister-in-law, Sarah. This woman has been the bane of my existence since day one. She hated me and hated the fact that her brother got married before her. After our engagement, she threw multiple fits to get us to cancel our wedding. Thankfully, none of the people around her were on her side. On our wedding day, she took the microphone and announced her engagement to everyone. She even decided to cut our wedding cake before we could. These are just some examples of what Sarah is like. Zach and her parents always spoke against her, but my husband never cut her off. She was his only sibling, so Zach didn't have the heart to abandon her. We had countless fights about this, but never resolved. Her behavior always escalated and caused trouble for us. She never apologized for creating problems or improved her behavior. Even Sarah's fiancé, Cole, was tired of apologizing to us on her behalf. Sarah was overall a very bad person who made my life hell. But I wasn't prepared for just how crazy she was. It all started on the day I announced my pregnancy to her and my in-laws. We already had the baby's gender and decided to reveal it at a family dinner. Everyone was of course happy for us and super excited. But Sarah absolutely lost her damn mind. She said, No, there is no freaking way. You are not having a kid before me. This cannot be happening. Sarah, why are you saying stuff like this? It's not a competition to have children. You will have one too when it's the right time. Yes, it's a competition, Zach. I am older than you and deserve to have the first kid in this family. Your witch wife is not taking that away from me. It's bad enough that you got married before me. Sarah, there is no harm in getting married or having a child later. Our child wasn't planned anyway, but we are happy to have him now. Listen to me, Jean. You are not having a child before me. I won't allow it. You need to do something to make this right. You will not have this child. Are you insane, Sarah? What the hell do you want me to do? Make a time machine and go back to the past? You will get rid of it, Jean. I allowed you to get married to my brother, but I won't allow this. You will not have a child first. You will wait till I have my one child. I was baffled by Sarah's horrendous solution to her own problem. I was trying very hard to understand if she was joking or not. She told me to get rid of my child so that she could have the first baby in the family. I was freaking shocked and mad. Judging by the faces of everyone else in the room, they were shocked as well. Zach said, Sarah, this child will be your nephew. How can you say these things about your own blood? I don't care if he is my own blood. I don't want him to be born. It's still early and very few people know. You can get rid of it very easily. Absolutely not, Sarah. We are not getting rid of our child because of your self-created problems. We cannot do that. Yes, you will do that. If you can't do it on your own, I will drag you to a clinic and make you do it. Hell, I will even pay for the entire thing. What the hell is wrong with you? What are you even saying? You should be happy for them, not tell them to get rid of the baby? Suddenly, Sarah was being confronted by everyone in the family. Zach was more heartbroken than mad. Even my in-laws were berating their daughter for being such a horrible person. The entire ambience turned so bad that I and Zach left early. On our way to the house, I made it clear that I wanted nothing to do with Sarah anymore. This time, Zach agreed with me. I was happy that he was finally doing something to stop his wicked sister from ruining our lives. But Zach did 180 within the next 3 months. Sarah didn't reach out to us in these 3 months, so the piece got to Zach's head. He said, Jean, I've been thinking for a while. I think it's time we allow Sarah back into our lives. Why the hell would we do that, Zach? Are you even hearing yourself? Look, I know that you think my sister's crazy and I have my doubts as well, but she hasn't said or done anything in the past 3 months. I really want our child to know their Aunt Jean. She is my only sister. Yes, your only sister who wanted us to get rid of her nephew. Your logic is impeccable, Zach. What happened is in the past now, Jean. I'm sure she has had time to calm down and rethink things. Mom and Dad are also saying that she has come around. Maybe we can give her a chance. Why don't we meet her at the family dinner next week? It's cruel to ask Mom and Dad not to invite her. We can't keep skipping family dinners just because she's there. Zach and I had a long discussion and a mild argument about his logic. However, I could tell that he was determined to bring Sarah back into our lives. I was not on board with his logic, but thought that I could give Sarah a last chance. Besides, I didn't want Zach to blame me for separating him and our son from Sarah, so I agreed to give her a chance. Don't worry, I also promised myself to be cautious. I didn't trust Sarah at all, especially after her outburst. Well, turns out I was right not to trust Sarah. We had the dinner planned and everyone was excited. Even Zach was excited because he thought that this time he would get a positive reaction out of Sarah. I highly doubt that and was proved right a day before the party. It was Cole who called me with the bad news. He said, Sorry for disturbing you, Jean. I know you're having a hard time with this pregnancy and I don't want to stress you out anymore, but I needed to tell you something. What is it, Cole? You sound very upset. You can tell me what's going on. It's about Sarah, Jean. She's been making plans to sabotage your pregnancy. I'm afraid she wants to hurt your child. What do you mean, Cole? This is a very serious accusation. You need to tell me everything. Sarah has told her parents about bringing cupcakes to the dinner. What she didn't tell them is that she has planned to put aspirin in your cupcakes. She knows that the doctor advised you against taking aspirin, and she knows what will happen if you do. So, Sarah wanted to make aspirin-laced cupcakes for me. This woman went to the extent of making a special dish solely to make me lose my baby. When Sarah's fiancé told me about this, I was freaking horrified. He said that he tried his best to stop Sarah from being so vindictive, but he was unsure if Sarah would listen to him at all. He was already getting super frustrated with her and said, I can understand why you're speechless, Jean. You might think that I'm making stuff up. Believe me, I would have been relieved if this was a joke. Unfortunately, it's not. This has been haunting me for a while, Jean. I knew I needed to tell you. It's all right, Cole. I really appreciate that you told me about this. You did the right thing. It is difficult to believe that Sarah would go to this extent, but you never know how bad people can be. Trust me, Jean, I'm horrified by Sarah. I'm thinking long and hard about whether I want to stay with such a sick and twisted person. I can understand that, Cole. If I were in your shoes, I would have second thoughts too. She's acting like an insane woman. It's downright scary. I knew that, Jean. I have been with her for 5 years. There is a reason why I waited so long to propose to her. I genuinely thought that she was improving. However, now I see that she hasn't improved one bit. Look, Cole, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life. That is totally up to you. But you need to rethink this relationship for good, or maybe push Sarah for therapy. Anyway, thanks again for telling me, Cole. I will always remember what you did for me today. I said that and hung up. What Cole didn't see was that I was on the verge of having a nervous breakdown. I was alone at home and extremely hormonal. Still, I tried to concentrate on my breathing and stay calm for the sake of my child. There was no way I would do anything to hurt my child. I calmed myself down even though a few tears escaped. I wondered if I should tell Zach about what Cole told me today. Zach still had a lot of love for his sister, especially now that he was going to be a father. I wasn't sure what Zach would do, so I decided to wait till the day of our family dinner. On the day of the dinner, I went to my in-laws' house with a little bit of nervousness. My hormones were all over the place, and I prayed that I wouldn't attack Sarah once I saw her. I was in Mama Bear mode, and the thought of someone hurting my child sent me into a rage. Zach could tell that something was up. He asked me multiple times if I was okay, but I told him that we would talk after dinner. Very unsurprisingly, Sarah and Cole both came for dinner. Sarah was excitedly telling her mom how she was trying a new recipe and made cupcakes for everyone to try. I stayed quiet and stopped myself from beating the shit out of her. Cole also kept looking at me with worried eyes. After dinner, Sarah presented us all with her special cupcakes. They were rather large cupcakes with a generous amount of buttercream on top. It was so big that she had to serve it on plates. She smirked at me when she handed me my plate. She also kept a plate for herself and went to the kitchen to get a fork. Yes, she eats her cupcakes with forks. When she left, I immediately swapped my plate with hers. No one noticed it. Not even Cole. They were busy appreciating the beautiful cupcakes. Sarah came back and we all had the cupcakes. Sarah made a face when she had hers. She immediately looked at me while I smiled sweetly at her. I said, "Is something wrong, Sarah? You don't look too happy with your cupcake. I must say that it is delicious. We all know what a good baker you are. You have outdone yourself." "I know how good my skills are, Jean. You don't have to patronize me. I can tell by looking at everyone that they enjoyed my treat. You are the one who didn't clean your plate." Oh, you used a lot of chocolate, Sarah. You know it contains caffeine, right? I already had a small bar of chocolate before I came here. I don't want to overdose. Jean's right, Sarah. Cupcake is good, but she shouldn't be eating it all today. We can't risk hurting the baby. Sorry about that, Sarah, but by all means, finish your cupcake, Sarah. It would be sad to waste such a nice cupcake. I will take mine home and finish it tomorrow. Sarah looked really mad at me and dropped the issue. She reluctantly finished her own cupcake, even though she knew that she had eaten the wrong one by mistake. But she wasn't sure if I was the one who swapped it. Sarah was clever. She added a lot of chocolate and sugar so that the bitterness of the medicines could be reduced. Still, somehow, she could taste it on her cupcake. With her plan failing, she went home early, mad and upset. I was glad that I was able to save myself before anything happened. When we went back home, Zach immediately asked me what was wrong with me today. He said, "You said that you'll tell me what's bothering you. Now that we're home, I don't see why we can't discuss this now." Zach, I really want to tell you, but I don't know how you'll react to this. What is it, Jean? I promise I'll stay calm. There's no way I would do or say anything to affect my pregnant wife. Zach, your sister tried to make me lose our baby. She laced my cupcake with aspirin tablets. Cole told me her plan last night. I avoided taking the cupcake by swapping her plate with mine. Since it's just aspirin, I let Sarah eat her own special cupcake. What the hell are you saying, Jean? There is no way this is true. I know my sister has been very mean towards you, but she would never do this. This has to be a joke, Jean. Zach and I argued for a long time. I even asked him to talk to Cole and verify the facts. Zach had a hard time believing that Sarah would do something so horrible and twisted. He was in complete disbelief. Just as I was going to call Cole for verification, he called us instead. He seemed panicked and told us to meet him at the hospital. Apparently, Sarah had to be admitted. We rushed to the hospital and found Sarah lying on a bed, crying her eyes out. Even Cole had tears in his eyes and was crying in a corner. When we asked him what happened, Cole started to get really mad. You want to know what happened? What I told Jean was exactly what happened. Sarah laced Jean's cupcake with medicines to make her lose the child. At the family dinner, Sarah accidentally ate the cupcake made for Jean. Sarah was pregnant and didn't know. We have lost the child due to her psychotic planning. What? Sarah, is this true? Jean told me everything, but I refuse to believe her. Tell me this is not true, Sarah. Don't stay quiet. I want answers. Did you try to hurt my child? What will she say, Zach? I don't think she's mentally in the right place to accept her wrongs. Hearing me speak, Sarah started to rage at me. She started to scream and hurl insults at me and the baby in my belly. The things she said were so vile that I cannot put them here. I am sure it will offend and traumatize you guys just like me. The venom Sarah spewed shocked me, Zach and Cole equally. But I didn't have to say anything back. They were quick to step in for me. They said, "You have some nerve talking about my wife and child like that, Sarah. I cannot believe how evil you have become. You are sick and out of your mind, Sarah. I made a mistake by ever allowing you back in my life. I simply wanted my child to have his aunt in his life, but now I see that I invited a monster." Shut up, Zach. Just shut up. I have had enough of you and your wife talking about the baby. I'm sick of it. I never wanted to be in your damn baby's life. I hate him. And I hate your wife. She should have lost the child, not me. How dare you, Sarah? How dare you blame Jean for this? This is all your fault. We lost our baby because of your fault. I warned you, begged you not to do this. You didn't listen to me. Did you expect to get away without consequences after planning something so horrible? I was right to do what I did. I wanted to end that child. I'm older and should have been pregnant first. She had no right to steal that from me. I hate her, and I hate her damn baby. If only I had been careful, it would have been her on this bed. You will pay for this, Jean. I will destroy you for killing my child. You must be truly delusional to still blame me for what you did. Had you not made a laced cupcake for me, this wouldn't have happened. It's the universe's way of punishing you for what you tried to do to me. Karma is truly there. No, this is all your fault. I know you must have done something. I made sure you got the laced cupcake. I made sure you would lose the baby. Yes, Sarah, you did everything you could to make me lose my child. Unfortunately for you, Cole told me your plan. At today's dinner, I swapped my plate with yours. I had no idea that you were pregnant, and I am guessing neither did you. After hearing this, Sarah started to scream at me again. She actually tried to get out of bed and lunge at me. Cole caught her and kept her on the bed. Sarah didn't realize that she had confessed to her own evil plans. Zach was furious and said, "That's it, Sarah. I loved you and wanted my child to have an aunt. I got carried away with my emotions and let you around my wife and child again. I had no idea you would go this far to satisfy your ego. What Jean did to you was an accident, but what you did was intentional. There is no way I am ever allowing you in our life again. I am freaking done with you. Cole, I'm sorry, man, but you should really start reevaluating your engagement." You know what, guys? I don't have to think about this anymore. After today, I want nothing to do with you, Sarah. This engagement and relationship are both off. You can keep the ring. I won't stay with anyone who's so hell-bent on ruining others. You are leaving me, Cole? This is Jean's fault that I lost our child. It was your fault that you leaked my plan to her. You are equally responsible for me losing my child. How the hell is Cole responsible, Sarah? He tried to stop you multiple times. You were the one who didn't listen. And don't accuse Jean. She is not some psycho who goes around casually plotting to kill babies. You are the one who did this and got trapped in your own plan. Cole, I support your decision to leave my sister. You can move in with us if you need to be away from her. We don't mind. Cole immediately accepted Zach's offer and decided to stay with us for the time being. He was so disgusted with Sarah that he didn't want to be around her anymore. My in-laws came to see Sarah and were given all the sordid details of what transpired. They were horrified to know that their daughter had turned into a psychopath. They supported us, but also decided to take in Sarah at least until she got back on her feet. We made sure that my in-laws would stay with Sarah and then left. In the next few days, there was radio silence from Sarah. My in-laws gave her a stern talk and threatened to kick her out if she didn't keep her mouth shut. They didn't want her to disturb me since she was making some nasty threats towards me. At the end of 2 weeks, they were forced to get her admitted to a psych ward. Apparently, some of Sarah's friends got to know that story and contacted my in-laws to share more tales of Sarah going mad at them and doing nasty stuff. My in-laws finally realized that something was wrong with Sarah and got her admitted to a facility. But Sarah dropped out by herself within a week and threatened them for putting her there. My in-laws were then forced to call the police and get her taken away. They are heartbroken and don't want anything to do with her anymore. Now, let's get on to some good news. I gave birth to a healthy baby boy very recently. The stress from Sarah made me and Zach really anxious till the birth of our son. Things have cooled down now, so I have decided to post the story. Cole is also doing okay and has moved to a place nearby. We have allowed him to meet our child since he has become a friend now. Sarah doesn't contact us anymore since we put a restraining order against her. We used all the evidence from her texts and witness reports from Cole to get the order done. Since Sarah cannot contact us, she posts as her parents sometimes. But my in-laws refuse to enable her anymore and are keeping her out of their lives for good.